Hello, boys and girls. We're going to continue talking about immigration today, and we're going to be talking about a mosaic of immigrants today. Now, a mosaic, what you just saw in the video link before this, was that a mosaic or a tile mosaic is a mixture of different colors and different sizes and different things of tile that come together to make something beautiful. And I want you to think about how in America, all the different people that come from different countries, people that have different backgrounds and come in different colors and different sizes, and how they too make a beautiful mosaic. I want you to also think about a few things as we talk about, as I begin this read aloud. I want you to be able to think of some of the push and pull factors, some things that pushed people from their home countries, like not being able to practice their own religion, not having enough jobs or enough food, or maybe not being able to own their own land. And then some of the pull factors, like freedom of speech or religion, and having more jobs available and having a better life, maybe. There are two major immigration centers, if you remember. There's one on the East Coast called Ellis Island, and that's in New York Harbor. And then there's one on the West Coast called Angel Island in San Francisco Bay. These aren't used today, but they were certainly important back in the 1800s. I'm going to begin now with this read aloud with this picture here. The United States is a nation of immigrants. Many of the people who live in the United States today left their homelands in other countries to come to America. Those who are not immigrants themselves can probably point to ancestors who came to the United States as immigrants in earlier times. Some can point to a mother or father who immigrated to the United States. They might have a grandparent or a great-grandparent who came to the United States as an immigrant. Others have to reach back a little farther in their family history. The people who lived in North America the longest are the Native Americans. Their ancestors are the first known people to live in what is now called the United States. They made their way from Asia into North America thousands of years ago. The Native Americans spread out across North and South America, and today many of the Native American descendants live all across the United States. For many years, the people of Europe did not know that the Americas existed. Europe and the Americas were two separate worlds, separated by the Atlantic Ocean. The voyages of Christopher Columbus in 1492 changed that. After these voyages, Europeans began to settle in the Native American lands of North and South America. The earliest immigrants came from a handful of countries in Northern Europe. Many came from Sorry about that. Many came from England and Scotland, but there were settlers from other countries as well. Some came from France and Spain. Others came from Germany and the Netherlands. They settled down and made their homes in this new land called America. Many of the early settlers who fought the Revolutionary War could point to ancestors from one of these 6 countries that I just mentioned. Later, immigrants began to come to the United States from other countries in Europe, and later still they began to arrive from many other parts of the world. So why do people become immigrants? Why would they leave their country that they were born in? And why have so many been drawn to the United States? Usually there is something that pushes immigrants out of their homelands, and usually there is something that pulls them to the United States. The Pilgrims who came to New England in the 1600s felt both pushed out of their homeland and pulled to the United States, although it wasn't the United States at the time. They were pushed to leave England because the English king wouldn't allow them to practice their religion in the way that seemed best to them. They were pulled to North America because they believed that they could have religious freedom here. The Scottish people who came to America in the late 1700s also felt a push and pull factor. Many of them were pushed off the land they had farmed by the landowners who wanted to use the land to raise sheep. They were pulled to the American colonies because in America they could get land of their own. Many of the Irish who came to the United States in the 1840s and 50s came because of a famine in Ireland. All across Ireland, potatoes had gone bad. They turned black and shriveled up. They were not good to eat, and many, many Irish people starved. Many were pushed out of their homeland by this famine. The Irish heard that there were farms and jobs in America. The Irish heard, and these stories helped to pull them to the United States. Many of the Chinese immigrants who came to the United States in the 1840s and 1850s were pushed out of their homeland because they were poor. Some were pulled to the United States by the prospect or possibility of finding gold in the mountains of California. Others were drawn here by jobs building railroads. Most of these immigrants saw America as a land of opportunity. It was a place where separatists would have the opportunity to practice their religion in their own way. It was a place where the Irish would have an opportunity to work on railroads or work in their communities in other jobs. Many groups were able to own their own land and provide for their families. Today, immigrants continue to come to the United States from all over the world, from Mexico, China, India, the Philippines, the Dominican Republic, Ethiopia, and even Russia. Over 1 million immigrants arrive each year from these and many other countries. That's about 3,000 or 4,000 people every day. This read aloud lasts about 15 minutes, and by the time it's finished, 30 to 40 people will have immigrated to the United States. Today's immigrants no longer come into the United States through Ellis Island and Angel Island. Many immigrants today arrive by plane, though some come by boat or car or even on foot. Many people leave their homelands because they're not able to live and work in safe and healthy conditions. Some people must leave their countries because of problems in the government or the dangers of war. People all around the world continue to view the United States as a land of opportunity. They see the United States as a place where people can make a new life and a new start in their lives. They can get an education, they can find jobs and good medical care, and create a new home for themselves and their families. They can contribute their skills and hard work to their communities in which they live. As in the past, new immigrants still face challenges or difficulty in their new country. Today's immigrants must still say goodbye to their loved ones in their homelands and make new friends in the United States. It takes time to become familiar with new ways of living, with new food, new language, the weather, and ways of getting around may be different than they were used to. Immigrants sometimes can use help getting used to this new life. Still, it is common for immigrants to settle in cities. Many immigrants move to places where others from their homelands have settled and can help the newcomers find jobs and places to live. Think about it. If somebody speaks your same language, it would be much easier to live near them. Here, these people can continue to share familiar customs and traditions, even as they learn other ways of doing things in this new country. In this way, new and delicious foods are introduced to America. People can enjoy a variety of festivals and traditions from other countries. New forms of art and music become a part of our communities. Workers bring new ideas and skills to their places of work. This is a nickel. Do you see the words on top of the nickel? They say e pluribus unum. That is a phrase from the Latin language, and it means out of many, one. One of the powerful ideas about the United States is that it is a country where people from many different countries join together to form one nation, from many, one. You can think of the United States as a mosaic of people from many different countries. The place where people come from is an important part of who they are. To the mosaic, each person brings interesting customs, new talents and ideas, and hard work. Like the tiles of a mosaic, each person contributes to make one beautiful nation. From many, one. There are many songs that celebrate the unity or oneness of the American people. The following song, if you'll click on it, will play This Land Is Your Land by Woody Guthrie. You may know some of the words to the song. This land is your land, this land is my land, from California to the New York Island. From the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters, this land was made for you and me. California and the redwood forest are on the west coast. New York and the Gulf Stream waters are on the east coast, and most of America lies in between. What Woody Guthrie was trying to say is that the land belongs to all Americans. It's not just my country, it is also your country. Wherever you live in the United States, and also wherever your ancestors may have come from. From the earliest Native Americans, and those ancestors who came long ago from other continents such as Europe, Africa, and Asia. Through history until today, people have come to the land that is now the United States for many reasons. Many people who live in the United States today are immigrants themselves. Others have parents or grandparents who are immigrants, and still others have ancestors who they never knew who immigrated to America long ago. More than almost anywhere else on planet Earth, the United States is a nation of immigrants and their descendants, a beautiful mosaic of people who have come to America from all over the world. So think for a minute about who were the first Americans? The Native Americans who came thousands of years ago. Many different countries created what became the United States of America. And I want you to think for a minute now about the song, This Land is Your Land, This Land is My Land. I hope that you enjoy the video that's coming next and maybe learn some of the words to this fun and catchy tune. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.